Okay, well, this week, next Shabbat is Shabbat Parashat Yitro. Shabbat Parashat Yitro is the Shabbat that the Torah describe what happened in Ma'amad Har Sinai. So we got the Torah in Ma'amad Har Sinai 50 days after Yetziat Mitzrayim, after Makat Bechorot. The Jewish people went to Har Sinai, and over there Hashem revealed himself to us and gave us the Torah. I want to make some very important point about the Torah. Every time that we read the Torah in Shabbat, or even in Sheni v'Chamishi, in the Tefillah, we said the following bracha. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, we blessing Hashem that He chose us from all the nations. V'natan lanu Torat Emet, and He gave us Torat Emet. V'chayei olam nata betochenu. The word Emet is something that needs analysis. We have to try to understand what Emet is. Truth is something that it's a product that's not that popular in the world. Chazal says, or when they talk about Ha'olam hazeh, they said that this world, Ha'olam hazeh, hu olam ha-sheker, alma de shikra, is a world of lie. Anybody who wants to be successful in this world should be a good liar. Ha'olam haba called olam ha'emet, the world of truth. In this world, truth is very rare and very not popular. I once heard that one of the great Greek philosophers, Socrates, says the following. I'll say it in Hebrew, not in Greek. I'm try to translate it to English. Ha'emet kveda al ken nos'eha me'atim. The truth is heavy. Therefore, the people who are volunteer to carry it are very few. But there is something very, very essential about truth.
I like that. Wow.
The definition of truth is reality. Let me explain this. Let's define what truth is, what emet is. The reality, be aware that reality in English is real, reality. The reality is the thing the way they are. But we, as intelligent creatures, as human beings, could look at things and not necessarily see it the way it is. It took us a long time until we realize even the basic thing about the real physical dimension of the universe. That what scientists doing for thousands of years, trying to understand what the reality of the physical dimension of the is, right? But it's very common, everybody knows this from their experience, that you could try to verify for yourself the reality. For many years, you could think that you got it. Then you realize that you were all wrong. And you update what do you know about reality. And the update is not the last stop, but for sure it makes everything that you thought until now irrelevant and just not real. So this is scary because it's very important for us to realize what the real reality is. If not, we are just making up in our imagination a fake reality. In Hebrew we called it, in the slang, you could live in a movie. אתה יכול לחיות בסרט. Meaning, you just imagine, you conducting your own movie, you just imagine who you are, which is has nothing to do with the reality. You imagine what the reality around you, which is, again, could happen that it's not the real reality. And this is very sad. The definition of reality is the following. If I try to verify what things that outside of me look like, what they are, and I check it out and I decide, okay, this is it. Let me give you an example. Imagine I'm looking at a table, I look at it from all angles, and then I decide, this is a table. So there is a match between the thing itself and what I think about it, right? Imagine another scenario. I look at the table, I try to understand what is it, and I got to the conclusion that this is a pickle. And when I'm saying a pickle, I mean real pickle. It's not that it's a name of a table in a different language. It's a pickle, meaning that if you put it in a pita, it will be sour. So there is no match between the thing, and again, that's just an example, to what I think about it, right? This is a lie. This is a not truth. Now in Hebrew, it's amazing if you look at the words and add the letters. Truth is Emet. Lie is a shekel. The Gemara in Masechet Shabbat says the following, that Hasheker en lo raglayim. The lie could not stand. It doesn't have legs or feet. If you understand, if you know Hebrew, the way you write the letters, the three letters of the shekel, there is a shin, kuf, and resh. None of them is stable. The shin is like a dreidel, right? It's three. There is no base. The kuf, of course, there is a long stick that's going down. And the resh also has only 1 foot. So the sheker en lo raglayim, it's falling. It could, like a dreidel, it could spin a little bit, but then it will fall. Eventually it will fall.
You can stand on 1 foot.
What?
You can stand on 1 foot.
How long?
You could.
How long?
I don't know.
How long you could?
For me, I guess it would be like 2-3 minutes usually.
Okay, good.
The long run.
So what's going to happen after 2 minutes?
No, but it's not completely.
You're going to fall, right? Take an acrobat. How long? An acrobat could stand on 1 foot. A day?
Hours because they practice.
A day?
Profession, yeah.
I'll be larger than him. 2 days. After that, it will fall.
I'll tell you why. I hate to correct you, but the shekel, like you said, is a complete lie, correct? But it's not a full lie, because you just stand on 1 foot.
Lie always will fall at the end. You could not lie for long term. It's gonna fall. But take the word Emet, you will see that all the letters has very stable way. The Aleph has 2 feet, the Mem has a base and another foot,
Wow.
and the Taf, right? So it's stable. But it's just the beginning. Continue the Gemara and says, the letters Aleph, Mem, and Taf are the first letter, the last letter, and exactly the middle, the Mem. So it's whole, from the beginning to the end. Take the word shekel. All 3 letters are really close to each other, right?
Gematria 6.
I don't know gematrias.
Shekel
There are three letters that next to each other, meaning you could not lie for a long time. But the truth is from the beginning to the end, always, never change. This is the truth. Now, remember, if I try to understand, to verify the reality around me, if there is a match between what I'm thinking and what the thing is, this is Emet. Right? Right? take those letters, Emet, change the order, you will find the word match. How do you say match in Hebrew?
התאמה.
Ta'am. Ta'am. Taf, Aleph, Mem. Which is the letters of Emet. Meaning, if there is a match between what I think to the thing itself, this is truth. This is Emet. What if there is not a match? If there is no match? If there is no match, it's a lie. Now, the most important thing for every human being, every intelligent, responsible person, is to understand who we are and what is the real reality. As I said many times before, maybe you heard it also here in the former classes that we gave here, God gifted us, and I mean any human being, with ability to think. Ability to think is not just a gift, it's a responsibility. You got it, use it. And if you don't, you are a criminal. You have to use it. So you have to know who you are, what the reality is. The problem is that many people do not know both things. They do not know who they are, and we spoke about it in the former classes if you were here about when we spoke about relationship and who you are. And for sure they do not know what the reality is around us. And here comes Hashem giving us the Torah. And the Torah called Torat Emet. It's the Torah of truth. No one but the Creator knows for sure what the creation looked like. No one. And we were lucky, and that's why we're blessing Hashem every day. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. He chose us from all nations and gave us Torat Emet. He gave us way to look at the reality the way it is. We have to know this. And that's what happened in Ma'amad Har Sinai. And this is actually what we're going to learn in this parasha, in Parashat Yitro. But I want to go further a little bit to understand what the trick is. There is a pasuk in Sefer Iyov. In Iyov it says, Mi besari echeze eloka. From my own flesh I could see God. The meaning of this, there are different levels of meaning, but the meaning of this, that if you look at yourself, the way, because Hashem created us in the image of God, whatever it is, it's not a physical image. We spoke about this in the other lectures. Hashem created us in the image of God. If you deeply look at yourself, you could realize things about about the reality. Let's say the following. There is a Mishnah, Kol ha'metzil nefesh miYisrael kilu itzil olam maleh. Anybody who saved one person, it's like he saved the entire world. It's not just a phrase. What is the connection? What's the common denominator between the human being and the world? Both of them are a combination of physical and spiritual. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Shamayim is the spiritual dimension, Haaretz is the physical dimension. So this is the creation itself, the entire creation. At the sixth day of the creation, Hashem created one creature, only one, with those two elements, with those two dimensions. And only human beings are built this way, are created this way. Hashem created only this creature this way. ויצר השם אלוקים את האדם עפר מן האדמה, which is physical, ויפח באפם נשמת חיים, which is spiritual. Neshama include in it the letters Shin and Mem. And Shamayim include in them those letters Shin and Mem. And Shin and Mem is a big secret. We'll speak about it in different other classes. Bezrat Hashem. It's there, Sham. Sham means it's not here. It's above our ability to grasp it. It's the spiritual dimension. So the universe has two things, physical and spiritual, and a human being has two things, physical and spiritual. Now, here's the trick. When you look at yourself, when you try to verify to yourself who you are, the best way to know who you are is, apparently, look at the mirror. Look at the mirror, you'll see yourself, right? Wrong. What do you see when you look at the mirror?
Reflection.
You see your body. The reflection of your body, right? You see the reflection of your body. For many people, this is me. Me is my body. But it's not true. Because there is a non-physical dimension inside of you, your personality, your neshama, your soul. You could not see it in your physical five senses. But this is the real you. And here's the example to prove it in a very strong way. When people going around and they understand themselves as a physical dimension, as a physical entity, when they look around and see other people, they will see physical entities. We spoke about this a little bit last class when we spoke about, it was over there. When you understand that you are spiritual in a physical wrap, which is the body. By the way, how do you say body in Hebrew? Goof. What is goof? Goof is a cover. If you didn't know, goof, it's a cover. Why? In Hebrew, in a good Hebrew, a cover of a pot called megufat asir, megufat echavit, a cover. From here comes the word magaf, something that cover your foot. Agaf, same thing. Goof is a cover. So it cover what? It covers you. So if you think you are your body, you just introduce yourself to your wrap, not to your real you. Your real you is something that you will not see in your physical senses. Now, to make it really obvious, you know in Hebrew the slang about when two people, let's say a guy and a lady, meet each other. You know the slang lehidalek? Lehidalek? Yeah, they lit up. They lit up. What happened? Actually, they do not know each other. From what makes them litten? The physical impression. They do not know each other. The big impression of how she looks, how he looks, right? Long terms, many people know, everybody who passed the age of 15, 16, 17, know that it's very, very dangerous to judge somebody according to the outside look. In order to really know somebody, you have to know his or her inner self, which is not the body. But the body could trick many people, and so many people got big, big scars. I'm talking about many kind of scars because of not being experienced. By the way, it's not just in romance, it's also in business. If you interview somebody, you have a good business that's going very well. Now you want to hire somebody. If you just have no experience, and you know, this person look nice, he speaks well, if you'll give him under his hand your business, he could ruin it completely for you. You have to be really experienced in order to understand, not to get impressed from the outside, but look at the inside. About relationship between people, everybody understands this. We have to know that the same thing is about understanding the reality where we are living. The world. The world in Hebrew, the word world in Hebrew is olam. And olam in a way is exactly the same like goof. Remember what goof is? Cover. What's olam? concealment, ne'elam, ha'alama, ta'aluma, which is you see the physical, and be aware of who is making the mistake. The scientists. Scientists apparently are the authority to tell us what is the world, right? With what they're dealing with the outside. They describe to you how it works biologically, chemistry, physics, right? They're talking about the cover. They're not talking about the essence. What is it? And Hashem told us in the Torah that the world is much more complicated than we think. There are two things, physical and spiritual. Who saw the spiritual? Any scientists? Any laboratory? Any nothing, right? Therefore, you could look at the world, you see the concealment, the same way you look at yourself, and you see the body, you do not see the soul. And that's what I said before, that you living in a movie. You create your own fake reality. You do not know what the real thing is. And here comes the Torah. When Hashem gave us the Torah, He gave us the details about the real reality. And the real reality is that there is a spiritual covered by physical in the world and in human being. That's what we blessing Hashem when we said, thank you Hashem that you chose us. We are the children of your beloved Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Therefore, you chose us. Elokeinu ve'elokei avotenu. You chose us and you gave us the Torah. Torah, the meaning of the word in Hebrew, Torah, instructions, directions. Instructions is where to go. Like in the modern day, the GPS. The GPS. You do not know where to go. You do not know what's right, what's wrong. Who will decide what the moral will be? Is that something arbitrary that everybody will decide, and this person or this group will decide this is the right way to live? The other, no. There are rules, and the rules are something that comes from the essence of the things, and the only one who really know about it is Hashem, is the Creator Himself. So, in this week Parashat, we have to understand we got the Torah, we got the truth. We know what's right and what's wrong, and we sang this in the tefillah every day. Baruch Elokeinu shebranu lichvodo ve'ivdilanu min hatoim. If you understand, you have over here that we're taking the entire population of the world, and divide them to two groups. The one who knows the truth, and the other that are wrong or are wanders. To'im, by the way, it's with the letter Taf, which is wander. Wandering around, looking here, looking there. Today this is true, tomorrow we'll change it to different things. It's by fashion, going here and there. We know the truth because we got it from the one who created it. And this is the meaning of truth. Now people could think that their life is pretty good the way they are. I mean, many people could ask, who need Torah? Who need mitzvahs? Who need to eat kosher? Who need to keep Shabbat? You could see millions of people around the world do not do this, and it seems that their life are not that bad. They're living a good life, right? If you think so, you're wrong, because you do not understand that the world, which is the ha'alama of the world, could make everyone, the majority of the people, just living in imagination. They do not know the real thing. They do not know that they have a neshama, and they do not know why you need to do this and not to do this. You know, people say, who need this? There are many mitzvot in the Torah that you can understand the benefit, but there are many mitzvot in the Torah that you do not understand the benefit, right? Why not to eat basar and chalav? Physically, it's not a problem, because you see many people, the majority of the world, they have the same body like us. They eat not kosher. They eat basar bechalav. They eat not kosher. They're not less healthy than us. You could not prove it scientifically, and the reason is not health. It's something else. It's spiritual. So when you have this parameter. I will do what I understand the benefit or not. You have to understand that you do not know the real reality. You live in imagination. You live in a bubble, and inside the bubble it doesn't seem significant. But the truth of the real reality is much bigger than this. And this is actually the reason of the mitzvot. The reason of the mitzvot is to give you instruction to live the real life in the real reality. And here there are many things that you could not understand them technically, physically, because they are not belong to this level of the dimension of the physical. It's either belong to the spiritual or to the interaction between the spiritual and the physical. And this is the meaning of the mitzvah. When you understand this, it could give you a lot of strength and motivation to do things that you usually do not understand what the benefit. And we are beneficial people. You know, something that I understand why I do it. I see the result here and I'll do it. But if not, I'm not doing it. So you have to know, the real reality is bigger than you think. You could even imagine. Each one of us has an amazing neshama, which is a big, big thing. We have no clue. We could not even understand anything in it. But everything that you do with your body, your neshama is a partner. And you could do with your body things that could ruin your neshama without you knowing. When you learn the Torah, you know. Because Hashem gave us, revealed to us His secrets. What is the creation that He really created? With this, you could go ahead, and we have to understand, we are the descendants of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. We are the descendants of the Jewish people which live or exist 3,300 years. Our parents and grandparents, wherever they were in the world in exile in the last 2,000 years, were ready to die. And not just ready, they died. When they were asked to give up their truth, their religion, and they were not stupid. They do it because this is the truth. Sometimes I feel that this is the thing that's missing for us. We are not really sure that we're doing the right thing. And for that exactly we need to learn. We need to learn Torah, we need to come to Shiurim. And the more you learn and the more you understand, the Torah is the truth and it could prove itself. There are many ways to prove that the Torah is Torat Emet. When you're sure about this, you'll have a lot of strength to go ahead and run your life in the way Hashem wants you to do, against what the entire world think should be done or should be popular. So I hope with those words it will be a chizuk for us to have confidence in the Torat Emet that Hashem gave us. And more than that, I want to ask all of you to please come and bring your friends and participate in classes and shiurim. And Baruch Hashem, here in this place in Queens, New York, there are so many classes and options. Just join any class that could talk to you. The Gemara says, "Lo min hakol zoche adam lilmod Torah." Not from everyone. The Gemara already said that. You know, it should be a click between the student and the Rav. If there is no click, sometimes the student could get, you know what, I heard this Rav, I heard this Rav, it's not for me. It's not true. It's Atzat HaYetzer. Look for the one who could talk to you. And this way, Ezrat Hashem, we could be reconnected to the Torah. And it's very important, you know, our young generation are good Jewish souls that got lost, not because they knew, but because they do not know. And this is our responsibility to reconnect everyone, to teach Torat Hashem, to learn Torat Hashem, to be connected to Torat Hashem. And this way, Be'ezrat Hashem, the Jewish nation will be strong. And when Hashem will see that, it will bring us the real Geula b'meira b'yameinu. Amen.